Yeah.
It was bought during COVID. This is a COVID purchase you don't regret.
Oh, no.
Right?
You don't feel bad about that at all.
We have to take a look in the trunk real quick on this car. It's unbelievable. What the hell was that?
Very good.
You want to know why
You want to talk about who's flashing cards?
Where?
Great.
What the
Good
hell?
one.
Real cars, real guys, and real talk. Live from the gearbox at Unique Classic Cars. Welcome to Motorhood.
All right, here we are, episode 20, and I'm going to tell you, the car that we are going to go down and take a look at is probably my favorite since I've been here so far.
64 Impala, 64 Impala, 64 Impala. Hey, do I got your attention now? I bet I do.
It's an SS. It is legit, and it is beautiful. Is there anything else? I mean, you cannot make it up. We'll talk more about it when we get down there. We're also going to take a look at a 66. And 30 years forward from that 64, we've got a 94, and that was the beginning of that last 3-year stretch.
Yeah.
And I love Impalas, and I know guys do too. That's just one of those that's ingrained into the culture, and they just get more and more popular.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So definitely stick around for these Impalas. You're not going to want to miss them.
They are sweet, beautiful. And that one just literally rolled off the trailer.
Well, it's a good thing it rolled off the trailer and into the showroom so that it missed the Armageddon that we were promised.
Yeah, what?
That didn't happen. We've been in Minnesota, you talk about, the Midwest and Tornado Alley and all that stuff. And I've been through a couple of tornadoes personally, and it's terrible, right, if it destroys stuff.
Sure.
However, I don't think I've ever seen, they warned for like 8 days in advance that there was this massive storm potential and everything else.
Right. They level it on like this 1 to 5 scale.
Yep.
And normally, if we're even expecting nasty weather, it's in that 2 range. They had us in the 4.
We were a 4.
Right. We were
out of 5.
A straight foe.
Like
is what we were.
Get in the basement, stick your head between your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye.
Unbelievable. So the sirens are going off. I kid you not. I'm literally watching the news. Why not turn up? We'll see what they say. The guy that was the meteorologist was literally going, the sirens are going off in North Mankato right now, and I have no idea why. Because he said that on television. So what happens in Minnesota when the sirens go off?
Usually every guy in town goes outside on the street to see what's going on.
That's what I did. I grabbed my wife, and I was like, let's go out to the front porch and see what's happening. You know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. And I'm a firm believer that they've got to figure out a way to be a little bit more on with their sirens, because somebody was trigger happy. Somebody was trigger happy this past
but George,
week.
you got to remember, if they do a warning for the county, Blue Earth County for us, like in this storm, to your point, the tornado was 40 miles away.
Yeah. Was there a tornado?
Down by Fairmont.
That's an hour away.
So southwest Blue Earth County, so then the sirens go off in the whole entire county.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely it drives me nuts all the time, because I honestly was kind of looking forward to it. As long as nobody gets hurt, I want to see nature's wrath.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, shout out to Reed Timmer. Saw his Interceptor or Dominator, I forget the name of his tornado hunting vehicle.
Yeah.
They went by my house during the middle of all of that, too. Got a shot of him.
I think you posted the picture.
Yeah.
Right. I did see that.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a fire hose downpour. I got a 4-year-old bedwetter. That's what happened. So, I mean, everybody calm down with that stuff.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Speaking of disappointments, we haven't talked about the Wild.
Come on.
What? They've lost 2 overtime games.
I know.
Heartbreakers, and they had all the momentum in the world going in.
Yeah, and then this last game, a minute or 2 left, they score the go-ahead goal, and then they're offsides by this much at the blue line. No goal, goes to overtime, and they lose. I'm like, come on.
Don't you hate it when you lose a game on a call like that?
Yeah, I mean, they were right. They got it right, but it was just... he could have dragged his foot. There's always the shoulda, woulda, coulda. If he'd have dragged his foot, that'd have been game over, really. But
you know what? You know what's funny? My wife is a huge Golden Knights fan. You want to know why?
I'd like to know why.
I would do. I'm going to tell you because we were there the year that they started. I was out in Vegas, and she got off the plane and saw all the cool apparel, and she was like, I'm just going to be a fan. Kind of like half the Maverick hockey fans in his town.
Oh, you did not go there. Okay. Are you a hockey fan, or are you a fan of being a social light at the stadium? Which is it?
Right. That is exactly it. Good news, though, real quick, before we head down to the floor. The Timberwolves are our next best chance here in Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah. I personally am satisfied because any team that knocks LeBron James out is my favorite team.
Me too.
Just happens to be our home team, and they did it. They knocked him out of the playoffs. So, hey, I hope they go all the way, but if not, I feel like it's a victorious season already.
We just need to win something. It's been 91.
Correct.
The 91 World Series with the Twins.
Yep.
So we're at 34 years now, and we have nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely
Other than, as we
zilch.
touched on before, thank goodness for the Minnesota Lynx and the Minnesota Frost.
Right.
Thank you, ladies, for bringing us a championship because the men can't get it done.
If you were one of the people that at us after that last episode, our producer was hot on it. If you saw that, he did label all of the championships they've won.
Yes.
Speaking of championships, you're the reigning champ, one game into Geared Over.
Yeah. That's not going to change anytime soon.
You don't think so?
Nah. Good luck to you.
You don't think so? All right. Before Geared Over and the next trivia, how about we head down to the floor and check out that Impala we were talking
That's
about?
what everybody's waiting for. I was waiting for you to quit talking. Let's go.
do it.
Ooh, doggy.
So
Look at
here
this
it
bad
is.
boy.
Here it is. Quick story. I knew this was coming in. Derek had told me. I had seen a few.
You were sandbagging on me?
I was. I had seen a few photos of it. Craig parked on the far side of the building. Enclosed trailer, obviously. Mm-hmm. There was nobody out there. I knew it was here. I had to go find it. I walk over there, and I kid you not, I popped the side door open, and there was just enough sunlight coming over my shoulder to highlight that SS hubcap.
Oh, yeah, right.
And this emblem on the front. And just that peak reminded me of a moment when I went to my first Major League Baseball game.
No
I remember
way.
pulling in with my dad, looking at the stadium, and it was Old Met Stadium in Bloomington, right? And when I walked out the concourse to the second deck, looking at the field, I got goosebumps. It just it stuck in my head forever. Same kind of moment when I popped that, and just that little bit. This is Azure Aqua.
Yes.
With the ivory interior, right?
Yep.
And I saw that sunlight hit it, and I just got goosebumps, and there was nobody there to share the moment with. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
So what's the first thing you think of with the 64 Impala?
Well, for me, first thing I think of 64 Impala, most people don't know this. They know I'm a Cadillac and a little bit of an Oldsmobile nerd now, but a 1964 Impala two-door hardtop was my very first classic car.
You're kidding me. I did not know that about you.
So I've got an affinity for these, always will. And obviously mine was nowhere near this nice.
Right.
Because I bought that car, I think, when I was 21 or something, I forget. But this one is amazing, and it's a real super sport. The color combination is, in my opinion, one of the best with the ivory interior. It's fresh, it's airy. Look, oh my gosh, it's awesome.
So the thing about 64 for me, there's a lot of guys that have a problem with them because the pop culture that made these popular in the early 90s. You could talk Eazy-E, Snoop, Cypress Hill, even the Beastie Boys.
Right.
They all used this car.
Yeah.
To me, the 64 was probably the reason I like it. They put the best of all of that early 60s into it. Mm-hmm. To me, because in 61 they began, right? And to me, the selling point on Impalas, and I hear this from guys all the time, is the back end.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And these taillights, to me, are set perfect. Yep. 62, I love 62 because of the way they filled in the back. I'm not a big fan of that 63 because they dipped down below the emblem, right?
Yeah, you like that filler panel in there?
Right.
Sure.
And when they got to 64, I think they just had it all figured out because you and I think we have a Patina 59. Is it a 59?
We have a 59 outside, yep.
It's
sitting
still
out there right now.
It's still outside, but they still had all of the big fins and stuff that were inspired by the aviation industry,
Right,
right? And that
right.
was all coming through the late 50s. But when they got into the early 60s with that SS and then evolving, they moved away from that. I like the 60, but they still kept that big fin,
Yeah,
right?
right,
And
right.
then they packed a 3 in there, and then of course in '59 that was the only year they had the cat eye tail lights.
Exactly. Well, the thing I like about this car in particular, not only is the color, but under the hood. So you've got this car. Not only is just a pretty face, but it's got a lot of the nice equipment too. So this car is from the factory. Power steering, power brakes, factory air, which you hardly ever see.
Right.
Now, I can't remember if I shared with you the other day or not. No, it's a 327. Do you know how to tell if it's a 300 horse 327 or not? By
I do
looking at
not. I only knew by looking at the VIN. I believe the third number on the VIN, if it was a 4, it had the V8. If it was a 3, it had the 6-cylinder.
That sounds right, right. So there's a term, if the base horsepower on the 327 was 200 and something, 250 or 270, something like that. But then you could check a box and you'd go to 300 horse, and the difference was on the heads. So they have what they call double hump or camelback heads is what they've been kind of nicknamed over the years. So you can see there's the double bumps right here on the heads. So you can tell right away if it's got the like say as they call the camelback head or what have you.
Right.
It's the little bumps. Each head will have those 2 bumps right there. So that'll tell you that it's got the 300 horsepower heads on it. So now you went through the codes even on the cowl tag, right?
Yeah, I did. I started digging around a little bit. Of course, I picked Ryan's brain.
Yeah,
who
right.
Basically is a walking encyclopedia. But this car, that is an error correct. To find out if its numbers matching, they're going to have to do a little bit more work, but it looks like it's all there.
Yeah.
But we don't sell on maybe, right?
Correct.
But that is an error correct
Yep,
327.
yep. How about the washer fluid? How freaking cool is that?
I saw that.
It's OptiClean.
Unbelievable.
I don't know if the camera can get a picture of that. That's pretty sweet. Just the originality of this car just oozes out of it. It's awesome.
And it was originally California, I think moved to Texas. It was at a museum.
Yeah.
It was bought during COVID. This is a COVID purchase you don't regret.
Oh, no.
Right?
You don't feel bad about that at all.
We have to take a look in the trunk real quick on this car. It's unbelievable.
I know you're a trunk guy, George.
Look at that.
Look. Are you kidding me?
And he's obviously got the documentation. There's some, it's all here.
Hey, is that the original window sticker?
That is unbelievable.
Look at that. Original window sticker right there. That's impressive. I don't know if that spare is original. It's never been on the ground. You can still feel the little nibs on it.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This is, to me, this is about as good as it gets right here.
I think as soon as this podcast airs, if it hasn't been sold by then, it's going to be sold after this.
Yeah, there's not even, this is, well, there was a guy in here looking at it yesterday, and I told him, I said, it literally just rolled off the truck.
Yeah.
Literally, so.
Yeah, that is awesome. And then, well, you haven't even got to my second favorite part, like I said earlier, is the interior.
Right, oh my God.
I mean, it is so it's like refreshing. Does that sound dumb? Is this light green with the ivory interior, and of course factory air dash, factory air. Of course, you've got the vents in the dash. Where on a non-AC car you wouldn't have that.
Right. It's got the SS badging, and I did notice. And again, I went back to Ryan. I'm like, there's none on the dash up there, but that was omitted in models that was not always there. So you see the SS badging on the center console.
Yeah, it's got correct console, the correct bucket seats. It is just everywhere you look, this car is stunning. There's no two ways about it.
This is the bee's knees, as my grandmother would have said, of Impalas.
I don't know who said it more, you or your grandmother. I've heard it a few times now.
This is
You got to get a new saying.
I know. This is it right here. What would we call this car? I'd have to come up with
Not the bee's knees.
Not the bee's knees.
Why don't you ask Julia Childs?
Yeah,
old
or
bastard.
Gloria Vanderbilt. right.
All right, let's get that other
We
Impala, man.
got to come down and look at this 66.
Okay.
Moving along to 66.
Now this car, actually the body style of this one is relatively rare. You don't see a lot of these. And why do you think it's more rare, George? Would
it be the 4-door?
The 4-door, the fact that it's a hardtop.
Yeah.
There's no post, there's no B-pillar here. Look at that, wide open air cruise. It's the next best thing to a 2-door hardtop in my opinion. And I'm just standing here looking at this. This car is like opposite color flip-flop almost of the one we just looked at.
It is.
This one's got the turquoise interior.
Right.
And the white exterior. But what's cool about this car just came in on trade. And the gentleman that traded it, he drove this car almost 900 miles here. So, I mean, what other test could you possibly want than to be able to do that? So, but yeah, 66, it's a four-door hardtop, as I mentioned. But again, they check the boxes on this car, too. Once again, we've got power steering, you got power brakes, and factory air on this one.
Factory air conditioning.
So, just to, the Impalas, as popular as they are, they're almost too popular in the sense because we don't get them in very often because everybody gets them and keeps them. So we've got 2 factory air car Impalas here. That's pretty freaking sweet.
And if you swing around the back, well, you can even see it on the front. You can really start to see it. This was the first year that they started to streamline things to get more of that aerodynamic look, I would say, that you see.
Yeah, start rounding things off.
Yeah, you see that. You see it on the front end, but specifically on the back. And I know that this is where a lot of guys, if you're 65 or older or 66 and beyond, you've got the horizontal taillights. It really changed the whole back end of the car.
Well, and there's a constant argument between on the Impala guys because 65, they still had the 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And the 66, of course, they went to the 3 rectangles. Now, it's a love-hate. Some people love 65s because of that, and some people hate them because of that.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I'm 65 or older.
I'm 65 now, so I love the 3 rounds because the 65 and 66 Impala were fairly similar cars.
Right.
With the main difference being the rear end styling.
Yeah.
And, they both look great, but it's just personal preference.
And people ask, and I dug into why did they do that? At that time, this was the industry trends, and they were all competing with each other. This is the way, and if you pay attention, as we moved into the 70s, it was more of this body style.
Oh, for sure,
right?
For sure.
But this, again, beautiful car.
But again, if you look at the interior of this car, you can see some styling notes that carried over from the 64. If you look, especially like the steering wheel, the horn ring.
The Kleenex dispenser.
Look at this.
Yeah, that was actually...
That is an accessory Kleenex dispenser. You'd swing that out if you wanted to fill it. Otherwise, you just grab your Kleenex one at a time if you need.
Yeah.
Again, factory air car, so you've got the vents in the dash. Just a nice cruising, comfortable car. And the nice thing about with the 4-door hardtop, to me, it's equally as cool.
Oh, yeah.
But because it is a 4-door, it keeps the price down.
Yeah.
So this car is only, I don't remember exactly where it's going to be, but it's going to be in the 20s somewhere. Right. I mean, that's an affordable, cool car with factory air. What do you? I
love when they maintain that integrity of the original look inside, It is fantastic. Really, really well maintained.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, nice car. Like you said, almost a flip as far as colors from what we've seen down there with that 64.
Absolutely.
30 years evolution when it comes to the SS.
Wow, 30 years evolution. That's what people think when they look between me and you.
Yeah, we looked at the 64, and this car here, especially for guys that were growing up in their teens, 20s, in the 90s, when I was in Southern California, these were everywhere. To me, 94, 95, 96 was the end.
Yep.
Right? That SS stuff that they put out it's just garbage to me, right?
Yeah.
So this car is basically a Corvette with 4 doors.
Drivetrain is for sure.
I've driven them. I mean, honestly, it handles just like that. It's got an LT1. We should take a quick look at this bad boy.
Yeah, the cool part with these cars, like you mentioned, is if you want to smash the gas, you've got that LT1 V8 power under the hood. But the other thing is, if you kept your foot out of it, these things actually got good fuel economy too. I mean, they were a full-size luxury car. That's what its base was.
Right.
Turned into a sports car.
Again.
So I mean, it's just a great mix of how they're. And these cars, I think, they were popular back then. They're really popular now.
Yeah.
And
this was, like I said, and I again, I always reference talking to some of the guys and even the guys in the shop, and they said the reason these cars are so special. It was the end of the Impala SS.
Yeah, the last of the rear-wheel drives.
Last 3 years, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. Again, it's got the SS. One thing I did notice about these cars, I think this is what kind of catches guys. Very limited badging. If you look on the back, it's on the quarter panel.
Very, very subtle. It's not a in-your-face kind of thing.
Subtle stuff. You'll see it on the seats, on the inside. Beautiful leather interior.
Yep.
But this car gets up and goes, and it means so much to guys who follow the culture because it was the last 3 years. And this was the beginning with 94.
And the main difference between the 94 to 96, especially on the interior, 94 and 95, all 3 years had the console here in the middle. 94 and 95 were column shift. 96 for the Swan Song the last year. 96 has a shifter on the floor, a T-handle shifter on the floor. Other than that, the interior and really the rest of the cars, they're identical year over year. But you know, again, the 96 last year plus the shifter on the floor makes that one, you know, even just a smidge more desirable. And then, you know, this particular car's only got 14,000 miles. I mean, I just stuck my head in there to show the console. It literally smells like new.
Right.
So
if guys,
pretty wild.
Yeah, if you don't know the story, a lot of guys will just walk by this and, oh, it looks like my grandma's Caprice. This is nothing like that, right?
That's sweet. Well, I think we've got Impalas covered for today. Let's get back upstairs.
We do. That's right. We got some trivia to do as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Geared over.
Before we get to geared over, which one of those three, if you could take one for the weekend, which one would you take?
The 6.4.
Yeah?
Not even a question.
Really?
Yeah.
Would your wife and daughter ride in that thing with you?
They would tell me that it looks old because they don't have an appreciation for it. They don't really understand the culture, but yes, they would get in the car. And I would make them have a good time. Right?
You're going to have fun, damn it. Are you having fun yet?
This is it. This is it. Which one would you drive?
Yeah, the 64.
It's just, I mean, how can you not?
I mean, I like all of them, but like I said, my first one was a 64, and I haven't driven a 64 in a long time, so it'd be kind of a little bit nostalgic for me. So
God.
That'd be cool. But hey, man, let's get into geared over.
Let's do it.
Pow.
All right, we're back. Episode 2 of Geared Over. Technically, episode 20 of the whole pod. Second time we're actually hitting the dice, hitting the trivia. Let's see if we can get some new dice rolls, new cards. They don't know, as we said before, if you haven't seen this yet, people roll dice. They get cards that have power-ups on them. Those power-ups can only be used once. Best of 12 questions. Whoever has the most points at the end wins the round. Let's get rolling.
May as well just get used to George rolling
That
first
way
every
he
time.
won't know what boons I get.
Correct.
These are my... Oh, I get 3? So
I got 5 cards?
You have 2 cards.
So I get to roll again.
If you want to use it right away.
Okay. I don't want to use it right away, but I still have on... I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to tell him.
Yes. So, as I said before, remember you get to use those once per game. Any of them that has rest of game written on them affects the whole game. They don't know what the other person has for cards, so other than that, it's a trivia game. Let's get to the questions. You guys ready?
We are ready.
And remember,
ready
this
as
is
I'm ever
randomly
gonna
picked,
be.
so nobody can call baloney if I have any weird questions you've never heard of.
Okay.
Okay, first question, here we go. Which online payment vendor was purchased by eBay in 2002?
Jeremy. PayPal.
That is correct, 1 point to you.
That... The only way...
Are the
That
anger
is
sharks swimming already?
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Which 1980 film stars Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton as... Or sorry,
George, Jeremy.
9 to 5.
that is correct,
You
1 point.
dick. Boone.
Yes.
This one here is called Twist of Fate. Swap all Boone cards with your opponent.
Oh, come on.
That's why you don't read your cards. Don't read your cards out loud.
So I have to give him mine?
Yes, but not the that last one isn't a Boone card.
So now I don't even know what the hell I have here. Hang on just a second.
I'll give you guys a second to reread what you now have.
All right.
Everybody
Beautiful.
good? Next question.
Game on.
What dish includes lettuce, hard-boiled eggs, chicken, bacon, avocado, blue
George.
cheese?
Cobb salad.
That is correct. Cobb salad.
There is no way you knew that if it wasn't for your wife.
I know that.
There's no way.
Healthy eating.
One for you. Oh, you have a pen?
I don't have it. I have
Jeez, are you serious? You
gotta give
see,
yourself
that's
points.
how many points he planned on getting today. He didn't even bring a pen with him because he knew he wasn't going to get any, even though now he's temporarily up 2-1.
Okay. Everyone ready? Next question.
Boone. This kind of fun. Golden Machination.
It's Machination.
Machination.
Still.
It says here I get a golden answer token and roll again.
Now, that only triggers when you first get it, so you don't get that, but you do get to roll again.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fantastic. I was looking for the free answer.
The fix is in.
Come on, let's go.
That
We
only
got to keep
happens
this
when you
moving
first
here.
get it.
Woohoo!
There's just
To
so
pick
many.
off the
I
dice.
feel like I'm going to call bull on that. Okay.
Next question.
Ready, set, go.
What is the only U.S. capital with 3 words in its name?
George, New York City. I know it's not. It's Albany. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Salt Lake City.
That's correct.
Dude, somebody is flashing cards because
I'm not. Okay, ready?
boom, golden answer. So I just get it.
You
right?
just get whatever. Okay, fair enough. That's yours.
Yeah, but you
Point.
still got to read the. Or do you read a question, or he just gets a free point?
I mean, I can read it, but he gets it regardless. The question was going to be, which one of these was not one of the original 13 colonies? Maryland, Georgia, Massachusetts, or Mississippi?
That would be Mississippi.
Yes. All right. Good.
Okay, next question. Which branch of medicine focuses on conditions relating to the brain, spine, and nervous system?
George, opioids.
No, he didn't ask you what you're on when you answered that question.
George, no, that's not right.
What was
Sorry, buddy. Nope, that ain't it.
Nope.
What is opioids, Alex?
I was like,
Branch of medicine, so there's probably an ology at the end.
Jeremy, neurology?
That's correct.
that's bullshit. You just gave him the ology. If you said,
I knew
If
it
it's
was
a branch
that's
of
what I was
medicine,
gonna
it's
guess.
going to be ology.
I was just like, I was just hoping you had
Opioids, dude.
Producer or pusher man.
What's the score? We'll take a break.
I have 3.
Sorry, we're misbehaving.
He has 2.
2, 3.
No, he has
4,
3.
5, 6.
Right?
I have 3.
Move your pen so I can see your damn score. All right. Let's go.
Next question. What word that means evil or malevolent comes from the Latin for of the left?
Jeremy.
Yes.
I'm dumb. I was going to say Lucifer.
No.
George,
Yes.
Beelzebub.
No.
Wow, you went deep
I went deep on that.
Deep
The correct
dive.
answer was sinister.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus, that's
What
not
the-
even cool.
All right. Remember, you still got boons left. We're on our 8th question now.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I know what I got. Wait a minute.
Come on. Hey, leading the witness.
Last time he didn't even use one.
That's
he
his
had one that he
problem.
completely forgot about.
Quit helping him. What the hell?
It has to be a fair game, otherwise it's
The
dumb.
fair is in July.
He's
He's got it in front of him. If he doesn't know how to do it, that's his problem.
I'm just saying.
So, okay, I'm going
Oh, for
to
God's
hang
sake.
on to that just for a sec.
Okay. Anyways, next question. Which 1968 novel by Arthur C. Clarke was written in collaboration with Stanley Kubrick, while they also wrote the screenplay for the same story?
George,
Yes.
2001 Space Odyssey.
Very good, George. That's correct.
What the hell was
Very
that?
good.
You want to know why I
You
know?
want to talk about who's flashing cards? Where?
Great.
What the hell?
I'm a huge fan. I like Kubrick's
Oh my!
movies.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
All right, next question. In what year was the Woodstock Festival first held?
Jeremy.
George,
And now, before you even answer, I want you guys both to know that this was a multiple choice. But since you both buzzed in, I'm not even going to give you the choices. Go ahead.
1969.
That is correct.
the summer of
Doesn't
love.
even need it.
Huh?
Doesn't even need the multiple choice.
I don't need no stinking multiple choice.
Boone. I'm going to use my lucky 13.
Boone. I'm going to use my lucky 19. You first.
The user rolls 3 dice and receives one of the following based on the roll. If I have a run, go up and down the stairs twice. If I have a high pair, 1 point. 3 of a kind, 2 points, and a boon. So I want to roll 3 of a kind.
But you won't have to because my boon is I can counter or cancel.
Oh, Jesus
Your
Christ.
So you
This
just
was
cancel it.
fixed. There's no freaking way that was actually
He
legit.
rolled that from the one he stole from you, which
Oh,
is why you shouldn't have
damn
read
it.
your card aloud. But
Next
it's okay.
question, please.
God damn it.
Next question. Let's see. What is the term for a government controlled by a small private? Let me try that again. What is the term for a government controlled by a small, privileged group of people?
Oligarchy. George, oligarchy.
There you go. Yes, that is correct.
What?
Oligarchy is correct.
Wow. What, are you counting by 2? What are you doing?
Let's see. 10.
Boone.
Okay, we got.
Hi, this is one of my favorite ones. Arm extension. Opponent must raise both
God
of their
damn
hands
it.
to answer instead of saying their
I
name.
always forget this too.
Okay, so I got 2 questions left, just so
Okay.
you guys know. Number 11. Which car engine part that uses reduction and oxidation reactions to limit exhaust emissions is a popular target for
Jeremy.
thieves?
Catalytic converter.
Yeah, I don't even have to flip the
I
card.
knew
Yes.
I was going to. Fuck, God, it's a bullshit.
Going into the last question, what are we at?
5-5.
It is not. You do not have 5.
Yeah.
It's a lie. He's fixing it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, remember, you might as well have your hands like this.
Right. Right, here we go.
Because you have to go
Right.
up.
Is this the last question?
This is the last one. This is
Jesus.
12 for the win. None of these are good. You guys aren't going to get any of these.
You never know.
Screw it. We'll try this one. In a standard game of bingo, what is the highest number that can be found under the letter G?
Jeremy.
Yes.
$72.
No. Would you like to take a stab?
54.
We still got it.
Oh, fuck it. 54.
No. That's a tie, and we don't like ties, so we're going to do a tiebreaker.
All right. Why don't you just roll one out?
Rando question. Let's
Random
go.
question,
God
grab a new card.
damn it.
Did not see this card before. I'm going to point out a question. Here it is. All right, ready? What is the make and model of the vehicle referred to as the one-car accident in Ralph Nader's book,
Jeremy.
Unsafe at Any Speed?
Chevrolet Corvair.
That's correct.
That's
the game
That's
for the
the
win.
fix was in.
Completely random. You
That
saw it here.
was
I literally just
not-
pointed to it. I had cameras on me.
We are
I
the
just went like this,
champions,
and it just happened to be a
my
card question.
friend.
We no.
I swear. You guys saw it.
Keep on fighting.
I'm mad AF.
You guys saw
That
it.
that is nonsense.
I can't drop this mic because it's mounted. But
You. Oh God. You just
a
can't
valiant
even make
effort.
that
Yeah.
shit up.
Quite the sore winner, but hey,
oh, that's gotta burn.
That's game 2. Game 2 geared over. And yeah, that'll wrap it up for us. Congratulations, Jeremy. And we'll get back to
Thank you.
close this thing out.
Champion.
And for the listeners and watchers, comment in the feed. Let us know how you did at home. Did you get some? Yeah, I'd be curious to know. Put that in the feed if you would. Let us know what how these how these questions are going. Maybe you're listening to the buddy or a spouse or kids or something.
The car questions that you staged for the win. Come on.
Hey, you were just talking about Ralph Nader the other day,
I was
so
not
I don't want to hear
talking
about it.
Nate. This is insane. What are the odds of that? Oh, it was randomly pull a card. Hit a little tilt. It was a little tilt up. Hit a little corner, pulled up. He reached over there. Yeah, I got it.
Your conspiracy theories going, it started with the Chiefs and the refs, and now you're saying that. So you just got to admit, buddy. You just got to admit that stuff happens, man.
I love conspiracy theories.
I know.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to work some of that in because there is some funny stuff out there. There is.
Well, we'll have to cover that.
Oh my God!
On the next thing, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday is our first roll-in.
Yes, there's no conspiracy there.
Nope. We're gonna have rock and roll. We're gonna have cool cars. We're gonna have good food. It's gonna be sweet.
If you believe again the extended forecast, we should be in the upper 70s, close to 80, and sunshine. If you're looking at the 10-day,
We'll take it.
I will take that, and we look forward to these. And again, if you get the chance and you're local, by all means, come out. Like you said, it's not just your average pull your lawn chair out. I love those as well, but we make it an event.
And if you're on the way here and you're running a little late, all you got to do is
Gas it.
gas it.